quite a long tour, this actually, to be fair. I've been touring for like an hour already. Then again, I should have said at the start, it's not going to be a super long stream today. I just wanted to go through my factory world because I'm about to not play this one anymore, and then start a new one. I'll probably still come back and practice some things on here, maybe apply some of the things that I learn in my next playthrough, but this is probably going to stay as a nostalgic map, to be honest, once that's all done. So to the Hypertube hub. So now we're going to go over and look at the fluid area. It's basically like a little, I don't want to say showcase, because I suppose I am slightly showing off, but I'm also showing when I was, and how I still am in certain places, when I was crap and not really thinking straight. I had an idea in my head of the factory rather than the actual logistics of everything, rather than actually making things a bit more prettier and things. As you can see, some of the more better, well, I mean, it doesn't look great, but it looks better than what some of the other places do, some of these buildings and everything. Just, excuse me, I can see, at least in my memory, how things have come on from when I first started. So we're going to go over to the oil rig. I'm going to use the Hypertubes. Kind of like a little look around. You can see there's a road there that I built, so the truck could go up the hill nicely. These kind of things, going through Hypertubes on the train, it gives you a nice little moment to just sit back for a minute and go, I could do better with that over there, or that looks nice, or this looks good, or you know, that kind of thing. These are a blueprint that I made, conveyor Hypertube poles, and then they joined on with the monorail blueprints that I've got. There's me again making sure it looks like it's properly supported, built into the wall there. Yeah, essentially now we just fly through these Hypertubes to get where we're going. Still a little bug there with my little hand devices. I guess that's because my face normally would be right there, I guess. This music is getting repetitive. I might change the tape when we get to the other end. An hour of this tape, so repeating on itself. Yeah, the reason I've got two Hypertubes coming up here is because one of them goes to the fuel area, which is the one we'll use to get back afterwards. Not that it's much of a different experience. It comes along the monorail, it comes along the train tracks. You know, so multi-purpose support used for multiple things. It's the same with some of my conveyor belt areas and stuff. Some of them are mixed with Hypertubes, fluid pipes, conveyors, because you can stack them on top of each other quite nicely. So again, we come in past the oil rig, well, not past it, up to it, and out to the little exit here, a little border with a name on it. So go to the oil rig. So the oil rig pumps oil up from the different oil wells that are around, like this one just there, for example, and that's pumping oil in. There's another one on the other side over there. And then let's have a look underneath actually while we're here. Have a look at the logistics floor, as they say. So as you can see, the oil comes in from the different areas. Water also comes in here. And everything essentially pumps up to the relative machine where it's needed. I mean, it's not the prettiest, but I thought this was relatively cool when I first made it. You know, when you had two bits over there, two outputs there coming into one, and you've got inputs coming in, pumping the oil up, pumping the water up into the central area, plus also some conveyors, etc. for, is it residues and stuff? What's that? Polymer resin. That's it, polymer resin, which is used to make plastic. Plus, there's probably some of that residue coal stuff, petroleum coke. That's it, petroleum coke. Okay, back to where we were. I also did it up with 4 big floodlights around, so I just thought, you know, it kind of looks like an oil rig with all these open, exposed to the elements machinery. But the initial section of this was, initially, it was these 4 refineries here. It was all coming up through the floor here, through the hub, and we'd be making in here, we'd be making rubber, and then we'd be making polymer resin and fuel. So we then expanded slightly to make heavy oil residue to make petroleum coke. Is that made fuel residue to make fuel? Yeah, because there was a lot of oil residues from the plant that's just over there. So I was using that to also make extra fuel because I needed to be able to make enough fuel to support the 8 fuel power generators over there. These all have their own buffers as well, so I think fuel buffers into this one. Yeah, that's fuel. Got both of those, sorry, should I say. And this is the heavy oil, which buffers into here. As well as being used here, also that heavy oil is then carted off in the train, as we saw earlier. That's then taken back to the black powder assembly to help make black powder, make the colourless, smokeless powder. Another water extractor here to bring water in. So yeah, these things do their thing. They make their things. And the fuel comes over here. I have it in a valve as well, not that I needed to limit the flow. 300 was actually what I needed to keep it going. I don't know why it's fluctuating. I think that one's full. Anyway, it's probably just as it's being drawn. But yeah, that then goes under and then goes along here, and then it goes up here, which we'll see in a moment. So over here, this is where the plastic and rubber is being outputted, as well as petroleum coke, which gets used over there. Or am I just storing it? I don't think I'm using petroleum coke for anything. I think I was just making it because it was a byproduct. So I think this is just stored. That's it, yeah. And then the overflow, we've got another awesome sink over here, which is then taking the petroleum coke overflow. It also has an extra overflow here for rubber and plastic, just in case when this side gets blocked up. So I wouldn't want it to back up and get stuck up here and stop the fuel production while the truck was away. So we've got another overflow here for all those items, and it just pops in here, goes into the awesome sink again. These link up, by the way, so that's why it's only got one ticket. So I already printed those 28 earlier, so there's only one there. Yeah, there's another, I think that's another oil extractor there, which takes oil out and gets produced into fuel, as far as I know. I think it is. Yeah, oil extractor, there we go. Pumping out the crude oil. Keeps itself going. We also make fuel over here, so we also package some of the fuel. So that gets brought down here and loaded into the collection bay for the truck when it turns up. So whenever the truck turns up, it gets a full load of fuel to go into its inventory as well. You can see there, plastic and rubber. More plastic's being made than rubber, but you'll see why. Oh, excuse me. Oh yeah, the tape. So, oh yeah, turbo base. That can also bounce back different enemies if you're running around with your boombox. You can also put these down and leave them as stationary music generators. So you go further away, you won't hear it as much. Get closer, and then you will. Handy, because you can make multiples of them and leave them around. Equip. Okay, so I'm going to open the boombox menu. We're going to change the tape. This is Sanctum 2. Let's just do absolute fix it. Hopefully that one's not too annoying. I think it's okay. Right, we'll leave that playing again. Okay, so here we have where the package fuel comes out. We'll get up to there in a minute. I think maybe I should start at the back where things begin. So I'm going to bypass this building for a moment. I would normally walk through it. I've got walkways and stuff. But the fuel comes along here. Up here is the fuel packer. We can show that one. Because in here we have, is that actual fuel already? It is packaged fuel already. Okay, fine. But yeah, so in here we've got a fuel packer. It's not lit up, but fuel literally comes in here, goes into here. I think there's a feed. Oh no, this is the packages. So what this does is, sorry, fuel's being packaged in the room below me. What this does is it unpacks fuel and puts it into a buffer, because at the start when I was starting, I kept on having trouble keeping my fuel flow going. And so essentially I made this place, because I was having so much packaged fuel, I thought, well, if I make a packer unpack it here, then that fuel goes out there, so it takes the fuel out of these packages, it then sends the empty fuel cans out here into the awesome sink. It's almost a way to have a redundancy. So yeah, they go down there into the awesome sink down there. The other packaged fuel that doesn't get caught carries on as normal. And then this is a fuel buffer here, which I've got stored fuel and then a valve. This valve is closed, so nothing comes out of here. So that's got fuel in it, but that's just because it connects to that pipe down there and it's all full. So near the start, I was having trouble. My fuel generators were taking more fuel than I could pump through. That's why I ended up having more refineries, etc. in the end. This is before I learned how to balance things properly. And so to restart my fuel generators and get the power going again so that I could actually do stuff and get things working, I made this so that I could then open the valve on here and it would dump all that fuel into the line, and it would restart my generators for a few minutes so that I could quickly have a moment to go around and fix things and everything, get the fuel flowing again until everything was cycling and balanced. And eventually it got balanced, and now this is obsolete, but it's there as an emergency flush just in case. Anyway, so my oils, my residues, or whatever it is, oil, etc., fuel, what else gets brought in here? Does generic oil get pumped into here as well? I think it does. Yeah, generic crude oil gets pumped into the back of this machine building over here. Now I ended up making this building far bigger than what I needed it to be, because I made this big end here so that I could use these crude oil lines and feed each of my 8 refineries. So these are fueled by the crude oil, because from there, from the crude oil, they can make plastic and heavy oil residue. Now again, apologies for the dimly lit conditions. As you can see, this was a massive plant that I made and it didn't need the space. I'll probably use it for something. But yeah, the heavy oil residue now pumps back out and goes back to the main plant where you saw what was going on with the heavy oil residue up there. And it also makes a lot of plastic. Now these plastic get exported out of the machines and then through mergers, a system of mergers, etc. So 8 conveyors turns into 4. And I just, again, this isn't very efficient, but it's because of how I like the look of it. I was able to then have these 2 buildings connected by these conveyors. I've got a plastic and fuel runway going through here because you didn't need all this plastic being used by the packages. So yeah, I mean, you'll see that in a minute. But yeah, so that this factory outputs to this factory and bypasses to then go to the truck to go back to my main factory. Yeah, I built a fun little walkway and stuff. Well, I thought it was fun. Able to build a little bridge with pipes and conveyors and stuff. You know, I thought it looked awesome. And here we have the fuel packager. So we have that fuel that goes on the roof. Well, it also splits and then comes down and drops into those 2 packages down there. But first of all, the plastic comes into these 4 packages, because I thought at the time, well, I'm going to make sure I've got enough fuel cans to fill them up. I think I overdid it a little bit. Still learning my balancing at this point. Fuel comes in from the ceiling. Tries to make that nice and symmetrical, which I think works quite well. Looks all right. And these packages then use the fuel and the empty canisters to make packaged fuel, which is what we saw earlier. I've got a double buffer of packaged fuel, so it's good to go. Hence why now I'm thinking of making turbo fuel next door, because then that's just a better form of fuel. Anyway, that's those. So this just goes back out to where we were before. So I'm going to follow the walkways, made some fun little windows and stuff so you can look out and look at things. I'm going to scooch around here, back out here, across my walkways, through here. This is all before I had the jetpack and stuff, so you know, running around was the thing to do. So I wanted to make like efficient pathways at the time. Same with going around the back here. You can run around the front, you can run around the back, you can inspect the back here. It's got a little walkway that goes along the back. You can see all the inputs. And then come out here and we come into the fuel area. This is dark again. This is before the update, so you can't see it very well. But in here, there is a fuel generator, and that is taking the fuel down, and it is producing power. And we're producing 375 megawatts per engine. And each of these buildings, each of these little buildings, almost like a nuclear power plant, has a different container unit for each one. So one room per generator. I have a walkway going around the middle just because it was more interesting than walking around on a flat floor. My fuel pumps in through the top from up here. Fuel comes over from the aforementioned oil rig, goes into there for the packager, also deposits into there, and it comes down and around through under the bridge, along here, and then up here. And then each of these ones then has 4 outputs on each side, so 8 outputs altogether. They deposit down into each of the generator rooms. So it generates me my power. And of course the railway comes up there and then goes around the outside on the way back. So that's this area. For anyone that hasn't fallen asleep yet, we're now going to hypertube back from the fuel area. I made those hatched areas because they're technically, warning, don't stand here, you could get hit by a flying person as they pop out. So yeah, now we're going to scoot back. I'll show you the map on here as well. You see I've not gone over a lot of the map yet. Yeah, we're going to traverse back over to the main plant. So basically out of here comes rubber, plastic, oil residue. So a lot of stuff is used within itself there, but a bunch of stuff is then transported back via road and rail back to my main factory for where it can be used. Is that a siege? Let me see. Maybe? Hey Fredo, how's it going? Yes, it's a me. It's a Mia. It's a siege. How you doing? You alright? You having a good one? It's probably early-ish morning for you, isn't it? Early-ish. Happy morning. Happy Saturday. You are a pirate. You are a pirate. Yeah. It's really badass. You are a pirate. Yes, indeed. Thank you. It's heckin' 8 in the AM, my friend. Yeah, no, I thought it would be early-ish. I say ish because early would be like 5 and 6, like flappy hours, wouldn't it, I suppose? Bless the flappers. But yeah, you doing well. Hope you're up for a really good weekend. I'm just doing a little factory tour of my Satisfactory at the moment. I've gone around most of it already. So yeah, but there will be a VOD. There will be a VOD if you're at all interested. Satisfactory can send some people to sleep though. It's not for all. Anyway, called out this morning. Fair. Oh. Anyway, yeah, just having a little look around the old factory mondo. I'll just give you a little view of this bit while you're here. It's a bit spaghettified. It's a bit freaking heckin' crazy, but yeah. It's this game is coming out of early access on Tuesday. It's going to 1.0, so at that point it will then have a lot more features, and I will start a new game and put into practice a lot more of the neat and tidy elements that I've learned over the year or two that I've been playing it. A year or two? I think I've had it for 3 years. Played it a lot in the last year, but yeah, it should be good fun. But yeah, on with the tour. So next we're going to go up to the crystal area. We're going to bypass Urania for now because we'll see that on the way past. Actually, let's just do the experimental one while we're here. This will be interesting and sort of funny. So this is just a little experimental. I was playing around with hypertubes to see what they did, and I was seeing if this was possible. And I'm not allowed to touch the controls while I'm doing things, but I will do it to save my life at the end of it. Because if you go through this and you don't know what you're doing, you might die. Hopefully that flea dude doesn't get in the way. Oh, he moved out of the way just at the right time. So here we go. And then we go in there. Whoosh. And then in here. Whoosh, through the ground. Oh, autosave, don't kill me, autosave. And then through here. Did I do another one after this one? Yeah, I think I've still got some more. But I just thought this was a really interesting alternate way to use hypertubes. Did I do another one over here? I think this is where I might be dying, so I'll just quickly engage my landing pack. Okay, good. Right, now I've got to run back. But yeah, I was building a hypertube bouncy way to another way to get around the map, which was interesting. Going to get a little bit of chilling out done today. Got some 420 and some Jameson. Going to make a chill day of it. Ah, nice. I presume you were 420 referencing that. Ping. Mike, is this going to actually take me back? I can't remember. Is that an entrance? Did I make that an entrance, or is that's just an exit? It's not even going to fly me. Okay, fine. Yeah, nice. It's nice when you can just plan a weekend and just make it a chill weekend. You know, one of those weekends where you just go, do you know what? I don't actually have to do anything. So let's just make a breeze of it, you know? Love a good chill weekend. Yeah, Jean doesn't get a lot of those because she works most Saturdays. Bless her cottons. Right. I will make my way back. Unfortunately, I don't have a fast way of getting back. Let's follow the path. Or the road, should I say, where my truck goes. Ah, you work most Saturdays as well. Oh, so no worries making the most of having a Saturday off. Fair play. Definitely. Yeah, bless her. She's a retail, so she doesn't get too much flexibility. Let's see what the place up there. That just goes off to some miners. That's not super interesting. So you've seen miners. There's some miners. Blah, blah, blah. Don't really need to include that in the big old grand tour. Stop. Stop. Don't hit the tree. Yeah, invisible tree. Through, underneath, jump. Am I going to make that one? There. Yeah, lovely. There we go. Right, back to El Hublo Dynamo. I mean, you can consider that as fun as retail, huh? Doing the same repetitive thing over and over again, right? I was about to shoot the flea. I'm going to still shoot it because I want it to run away. Go away. It doesn't hurt. You have to shoot him about 100 times to kill him. Right. Hypertube hub takes me to all different areas of the factory. This time we are now going to the beacon, the crystal mine. It will also fly past Urania. Yeah, I do like a bit of parkour on this. Doing the old crouch jump means you can jump a lot further. Got these legs that you can use. So this is a bit bitty. I've got a bus of fluids, of items, of hypertubes coming down here. Urania is over to the left. You won't see much of it at the moment, but we'll get a bit more of exploration. Urania splits off there. As you can see there, I'm building. That's my newest build that I'm trying to complete. It's not done yet, but we'll get there at the end. I say at the end of the tour. Crouch jump, Gmod. Oh, Gmod, yeah. Classic Half-Life crouch jump. And obviously Gmod being the offshoot from Half-Life 2 packs. Yeah, classic. A crouch jump is always going to be ingrained in my memory. Obviously it's a big Half-Life thing, but that's Urania down there. That's my current build. We'll be going there in a moment after we've looked at the aluminium area. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. So this is my aluminium plant where I mine bauxite, crystals, bring other materials up from down below as well. Also from over in the purple forest or the pink forest. There we go. Did I not label that one? I haven't labelled that one. Okay, fine. But that's fine. We're touring. So that's one of my beacons for scanning. To one of my workbenches, equipment workshop. Well, let's see where everything comes in from first before we do this part. So to feed what's going on in this factory of the factory, I have copper being brought in from down there. Get too close to the edge, but yeah, down in the mist there's some copper nodes over here somewhere, so I've got them all climbing the walls and coming up lifts and up to the top to then be supplied. Oh shit, that nearly freaked me out. And then that feeds in part over there, which we'll get to in a moment. Now we also have to bring in, bunny hopping is engraved in mine. A lot of early childhood years playing Quake 3 Arena. Ah, Quake 3! Oh, Quake 3, Unreal Tournament. Oh, those were the days, weren't they? Oh, Quake 3 Arena, bouncing around in those arenas, you with the railgun and stuff. Oh, you're getting a nostalgia moment at me there. I was looking at my Steam the other day and I saw Unreal Tournament 4, which I like the other ones, but that was probably the one that I played the most of, just because graphically it was pretty good. Well, it was awesome for its time, and it had vehicles and stuff, and it really expanded the combat a bit. It was a bit different, but then obviously it wasn't Quake, but it was almost like based on Quake in a way. Kind of like Quake and Unreal Tournament, they were the two that were the opposites of each other, weren't they? They were the competitors for the FPS genre back in the day. But yeah, so over here we have coal and bauxite mining. Now there's not much to show here other than these conveyors go off to miners that are dotted around the place. Where are we? We're here, so you can see bauxite, coal, you know, that's all being brought in through here and then going into my factory down here. I still have Unreal Gold on my Steam account, which IG is no longer on Steam. Oh, is it not? I think yeah, Unreal Tournament is on Steam. I think Quakes came back to Steam recently. They had a little remaster. I don't know if it was a remaster pack or something. Well, I thought they were both back. I've definitely got Quake 3. I've definitely got Unreal. I've got the later Unreal tournaments, the ones where, was it Unreal Black or whatever it was, or I can't remember, but when it got really graphically intense and like your old PC that played Unreal 4 just wouldn't play it anymore. At least not very good or with many frames. Zoom! Okay, so that's bringing over my bauxites. And the coal splits off over here from that trek as we went over that mountain. The coal comes down here because it then it's this plant over here. So we'll have a little dove from above look at this. I think Epic took away all the Unreal games from 2003 and before. Oh, okay. Well, that's because they know that that was when some of the best gaming was, back when it was very, very simple. But I say simple, I mean, it was complex if you put your mind to it. It was all about how the player interacted with the game, wasn't it, back then, and how you did your movements, your jumps, your crouches, all that stuff, and your mouse hand. You're very much your mouse hand, especially with the railguns and stuff like that. So this facility was one of my later builds, until I started thinking about piping in water and bringing it all in from underneath the factory, making some funky designs into the patterns and the walls. I'd made too many pipe entrances for what I needed, but they all feed into there, and then other items feeding up top, like the bauxites, for example, come in. I think that's the bauxites, yeah. The coal comes in over there too. Let's find the proper entrance. This is an additional silica production because one of the off products that get my surplus products gets made in this process is silica, but I needed more silica for later on, and you'll see why.